Hey guys, welcome back to the world, and as you can see, we've just been doing a lot of work in terms of just enchanting. We actually have a really good diamond pickaxe right here, efficiency 4, unbreaking 3, silk touch. We just need to get that up to efficiency 5, which we have the book to do that here, and also mending, because I am really tired of doing iron and diamond mining, just with like some piddly iron pickaxes. And you guys might be wondering, well, you don't have a villager yet, so how the heck are you going to get a mending villager? Well, as something I did not consider is that this spawner uses natural spawning, completely natural. And something I did not consider is that zombie villagers could come from this thing. So, as they've been coming, I've just been making this collection of zombie villagers. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 villagers, which is quite a bit. So as you can see, I have a weakness potion and 1 golden apple in my inventory here. So what we're going to do is build out here a little bit. Hopefully, yeah, no, I blocked that area off specifically for that reason. We're going to build out a little bit here. Trust me, this platform is not going to be permanent. This is basically just my working area until we get to something this episode, in fact. And boom, the villagers should not be able to get out. So, that being said, let's ride this guy in here, hopefully without dying. Let's just pop this guy with one of these. And, well, he accidentally splashed herself, but yeah. We just pop that on them, and they should not be a nitwit because they appear to have a class. Oh, hey! As soon as I look away, of course. Well, hello, villager. I swear if you are a nitwit somehow, I am not going to be very happy. Oh. I did not think of that. Okay, gotta wait for them to come back down. I also didn't think about how the zombies being nearby is going to make them freak out. So I don't know how it's gonna make them. Oh my gosh. These villagers are always super annoying. Why? Thank you. We're gonna have to put them in a box, otherwise they're gonna be way too difficult to handle. I'm breaking 3, I mean, that's really good, but no. And by the way, the reason I'm not too worried about doing the whole zombification process again is because mending, I believe, after 1 dezombification, it costs only 1 emerald on the average. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Now, I don't think that's all that true. Oh, wait, crap. We don't even have a way to get emeralds yet. If I remember correctly, there is a certain type of villager, which I believe is the cleric, that happens to take rotten flesh for emeralds, so I think that's what we're going to go for. Okay, so my plan is simple, but it is dangerous. So what I'm going to do is let these guys out, follow me in here, close this off, and then open this up, which allows them to get to that villager, and hopefully zombify them. Then I can open up this top, splash a weakness on all of them, and then heal them all with the golden apples. Okay. Come into here. Okay. Go, go, go. Okay. Got him. Whew. And that's going well. Alright, sweet. Now, I can't believe I said sweet to a just to a villager just dying to zombies and then becoming one of them. That's kind of horrifying if I think about it. Now, we splash them all with this, and then... Now, I know I can zombify them more times, but that's all the gold I have. And, well, I'm just trying to get a good silk touch pickaxe so I can get more gold quickly. And also, I'm also running low on apples, and I also need to get a good axe, a good sword, good armor. I'm just kind of in a rush to get mending right now, so I'm not too worried about that in this instant. There we go. 1 emerald and a book for mending. Now something I didn't consider is that we need paper to lock it in. Okay, we're gonna have to be back in record speed. I don't know how long it takes for the tray to reset totally. I think it's like 5 minutes or something along those lines. I think it's been more like 3 minutes, so I don't know. But there's also the possibility of me going outside the chunk because they're all the way out here. No, they switched, but at least they didn't despawn. At least I know it is possible to get a mending villager for 1 emerald, so we'll be back. So I just realized something. Both of these guys do 32 originally, but this one consistently gets lower. Meanwhile, this one consistently just stays to 25. So what that means is that this guy is actually the villager we're looking for. Now here's the thing, I know mending with 1 emerald is possible with this guy. So I'm actually going to keep it in this arrangement. So we will just try to buy as much rotten flesh as from this guy as possible. Mending, but it's 4 emeralds. Gotta try again. Okay, it took a little bit, but we finally got a book for 1 emerald. Let's lock that in. And more importantly, let's get our pickaxe properly well, we should probably do this first. Which one is more expensive? Definitely this way around. And boom. What are we gonna name this thing? Wait, I already know the answer to that question. When I name every Silk Touch pickaxe I get Quantum. Because, you know, because you're technically not mining bits in a game, I'm like quantum computing, like I'm computing through all these blocks really fast. It's a nerd thing, don't worry about it. Well, we won't be needing any of these iron pickaxes ever again. Now, it's time to use quantum on a little test run, not unlike how we did in the last episode. So an excellent first test would be trying to get gold. Now I believe gold comes best at around like -15. I might have to double check on that. -16. Yeah, here we go. Let's get start mining. Oh, that's so much better already. My goodness. Oh my. Lots of lava. Lots and lots of lava. That is intimidating. Okay, so we have over a stack of deep slate gold ore, so time to head to the surface. You might be asking as to why I mined everything with a Silk Touch pick. And that's because, well, it just takes a lot less inventory space, therefore I'm able to mine a lot longer without having to take stops. All in all, we almost got 3 stacks of raw gold. So, I guess we don't have an auto smelter yet, but I guess we'll put it in our blast furnaces up on our 2nd floor. I just want you guys to listen to this real quick. It's just so satisfying. Well, now we're getting to copper, but I mean, for a while with all this, I mean, look at all this lapis and redstone and crap. This is what my inventory would have looked like if I wasn't using Silk Touch. Now that we've mined up and smelted everything, it's about time we get mending and whatnot onto our fortune pickaxe as well. So I'm going to call this whatever I usually call my fortune pickaxe. Stonks. So I just wanted to record this little bit because I realized one of the first big walls some of the new people have when it comes to Minecraft and they're trying to dig deeper into Minecraft is enchanting. So I kind of want to walk you through my process. Now this process is made a lot easier by villagers. If you could just grab books by villagers, like say if you just have a protection 4 villager hanging around and just you have all the enchantments all around and you could just pick them up, yeah, that makes things a lot easier. But if you're going for the enchanting table sort of setup, I would highly recommend just throwing a diamond helmet in there. This one's enchanted already, but I believe what I got on this one was it showed up as Aqua Affinity. Basically, what you want to do is look for one enchantment on the 3rd level here that has what you want. Now, the reason I say one of the enchantments you want is because you can get a slew of other enchantments with it. I just kind of did the Aqua Affinity hoping that I would get some other good enchants, and yeah, I got Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, and I was originally planning on these just being temporary bits so I can stay alive, but this is so close to completion that this is probably going to be my permanent helmet. So I just got a Respiration 3 book going, and now I just need to get a Mending book, and this helmet would be fully enchanted. So yeah, sometimes just going for the random enchant that isn't Prot 4 on Breaking 3 will help you in the long run. Now with stuff like swords, where you get into 5 consistently, like also with pickaxes, efficiency 5, sharpness 5, so on and so forth, what I highly recommend is getting 2 swords, especially if you have I put my other sword back at the base, is enchanting 2 separate swords, getting sharpness 4 on them, or whatever you want, and then combining them together. Because if you're enchanting like this, and you got fortune pretty early into your enchanting, you probably have some diamonds to spare at this point. So, especially with like sharpness, I would usually, sharpness and efficiency are the big ones, is that I would basically shove 2 pickaxes together on an anvil and just get efficiency 5 out of it. Now, obviously, this will take a lot of time, even with the best mob grinders. This enchanting takes a lot of patience, and this is definitely one of those activities I would recommend doing while you have a YouTube video in the background. Like, for instance, I just saw a like 3-hour video talking about the forest, and I was just enchanting while doing that. One thing that is extremely important, though, I wouldn't put on the armor and then just go bam, like straight with one book at a time. What I would recommend doing with this is grabbing a bunch of books, keep combining the books, and then add a Mending at the end, because Mending is a pretty low-level enchant. Therefore, it will help minimize things a lot. And what I highly recommend doing, I'm just going to use these 2 as an example, even though it doesn't really work. So the enchantment cost of this is 6, but say if I switch this around, it might be 4. Always go for the lowest one if you can, because then that will be able to lower levels later on, and it is completely possible for you to get the too expensive error while going for these, so you need to minimize on these as much as possible. So when you're combining books together, which is basically what you're going to be doing most of the time, yeah, just like switch them around, make sure you go for the one that is significantly cheaper, because that will save you a lot of headache in the long run, especially if you start working on items that have a lot of different enchantments, boots being one of the prime suspects because they have a lot of different enchantments. So yeah, just try to combine books together and try to get the lowest score right here. Like this here, this is a great example. Let's do Respiration 2nd. So normally this enchantment cost would be 6, but what if we minimized it to 2? Because I put Mending on the 2nd. And then, yeah, you get a book with Respiration 3 and then Mending, and then you put that on the helmets. And should I name this? Sloth helmet. I'm not going to get fancy with this. But yeah, there's a fully enchanted helmet. Now that we're all set up to keep going along Minecraft's progression system, I want to make that thing a little bit prettier and not quite... I don't even know what that looks like at this point. It looks like a plunger, a giant plunger in the sky. My goal, if you don't remember, is to make it look like a giant air balloon. Now, I do have some more interesting plans associated with said air balloon, but for now, I just want to get the air balloon done so I don't have to look at that ugly thing the entire time. I mean, I will still kind of have a platform off to the side just to have some of the villagers there, but I do kind of want to at least get something that resembles an air balloon. So in order to do that, we're going to need dark oak and a lot of wool. Step 1, find some sheep. Step 2, bring the sheep home and force them to do things they'd rather not do. Step 3, dye 2 of them blue. Scratch that, light blue. Separate them. Start something that is definitely not a chest monster. Cut down a dark oak tree that is surprisingly close. And that should do it. I'm probably going to grab more white wool as we go along. Because I'm not actually sure if this is enough. I mean, it's not that big of a project, but still, I just have this sinking feeling that I don't have enough white wool. So we're probably going to grab more as we're doing it. But, yeah, I will have to show you guys a general, very, very base, like not even a design, just a shape concept that I made in a copy of this world. I think the fact that I have to make a copy of my world just to go into creative so that I can fly, so that I can make this as a mock-up, really highlights how badly I need Elytra. So, if for reference, I actually have all these bits on the side because it's basically going to help me count up the blocks, like see how many blocks is where and whatnot while I'm building this, because I'm basically going to get a screenshot of this and reference off of that. So what I ended up doing here was basically using a pixel circle generator. You can just look that up on Google, and kind of did a normal circle shape for this line, and I kind of just did a slight recurve manually by myself because it's not really that hard to do. And for this top bit here, I did like a 34 wide circle with 30 as the height to get this kind of squash shape, because air balloons are never really that perfect of a circle. It always has this flattened top, and this is also for a practical reason. These red bits of wool, these signify the world height limit. This is why I wanted to get a exact copy of the map, just so I can keep this in mind, because I do want to have a little bit of wiggle room just in case I want to do something on top later. I don't imagine that I will, but it will be something good to keep in mind. One other thing is that I already kind of measured out the circle over here, and we will be able to put in some redstone. So if we want to put in some lights to, say, just not completely disable, but at least decrease the amount of spawning going on in here, just so we can do a little bit of maintenance without it just blowing up in our faces just instantaneously, we'll have that feature, but that's kind of lowest on the priority list for this project as of now. I just kind of want to make this thing look not completely ugly. So yeah, now that we've planned this all out, we've already gotten a screenshot of it, we might as well just get started on the actual build in the survival world. So one thing you might have noticed is that I had to destroy some bits like around the farm in order to make space for the whole basket and whatnot. And, well, it's not like we can just casually punch off our own villagers in order to do this, because, I mean, even though it was really passive work, we did end up putting a lot of time into these guys. We have, like, what, 12 now? Actually, no, this is 6 plus 8. That's, what, 14? Yeah, we have 14 zombie villagers now. And yeah, I'd really hate to just punch them off the cliff just for convenience's sake. So what we're going to end up doing is building a little platform for everybody over here. And yeah, we're going to have to make a roof for it. Just so we can leave these guys over here while we do what we need to do. Do not worry, these guys will be put in a proper place eventually. Not gonna lie, I feel like I'm playing Skyblock right now, and yeah, the uneasiness definitely files over to this. So, the plan to move these guys is basically to do what I did to get them out and to get them into there and whatnot. It's basically just to break their boat, have them follow me. I have this extra boat here to put them in just in case they pick up my boat like how they did in the last episode. So, let's put that F3 and B on, and hopefully we can keep this smooth. All right, one down, a lot more to go. This is starting to look like a very messy parking garage. All right, that's all of them. Now we need to work on all of these villagers, and this is going to get a lot more tricky. So now we're going to make a separate platform for these guys just to make sure that they don't get hit by zombies or anything like that. And mostly just because I don't want to accidentally run out of room and somebody bumps me off or somebody bumps a villager off and they die, and this is just organized, and I know this is going to make more work for me later, but I'll just deal with it as it comes. Something I just noticed is that mobs can actually spawn on this sunlight protection bit, so we gotta put these on before that becomes a problem. So now the plan is to remove these, get ourselves in a boat, if we can manage, back ourselves in, and then hopefully if we break the slab behind us, this villager should go into the boat eventually. I'm thinking. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we steer ourselves. Oh, well, okay, when we get this out of here, we could still. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. Before I do this, I'm actually going to put a protection platform on here too, because I just forgot. If we get a thunderstorm, these guys could turn into witches, and I'm not all for that. Now, we're gonna leave these guys in here. We're basically going to be temporarily unavailable to get any books or anything like that. But considering that this is not meant to be permanent, I think we'll be okay. Beep, 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 beep. As the sun rises, we have finally gotten all the zombie villagers and villagers out of the way, so now we can tear all this crap down. Now we're gonna head back and grab 16 obsidian, because I am not about to walk all the... Ooh, that could have been bad. I am not about to walk all the way back and forth every single time I gather materials. We're finally making another portal for this thing. And lit. And let's hope it doesn't link back to the first portal. Aha! So we ended up really close to the boat bridge, and our portal's right over there. And just like that, most of our building materials have been transported over here. All right, let's start building and hope things don't go horribly. So as it turns out, we don't have nearly enough wool to do this project as of right now, at least if we're going to be trying to do just the shape with white wool and whatnot. like, we managed to get a good outline going, and we managed to get a little bit of the top, but that is about it, which is kind of scary, and just kind of makes me think, how much wool are we gonna need? Okay, so this is a genuine question. Do you guys think this is enough? So one thing I have not done yet is figure out the radius of the outer ring here, because I will need that to show you guys something else. Does this make you guys anxious? So now that we've got the entire wireframe finished, I kind of want to try something. And I want to see if it will help at all with making spheres. Now, usually what I do with spheres is that I just kind of go at the top and just keep doing circles all the way down. But I'm thinking, what if I do like all of these corners, not corners, just sides of the circle at the same time, and then have them meet up in the corners like in this area. I think that might make it look a bit better, but hey, there's no time like the present to figure it out. So let's get cracking. So it's a very slow and painful process, but I have to admit, this does make it look a lot better. Oh boy, I'm gonna be here for a while, ain't I? So, pro tip, if you are making giant spheres in the sky, do yourself a favor and grab some elytra. Oh man. Actually, a lot of this wasn't that bad. It was just the fact that I didn't have a good perspective on a lot of things, and I would have to come all the way down here without any wings and just kind of have a good look at this one side and then replicate on all the other sides and hope it worked out. So there's a high likelihood that these sides might be a little different from each other. As you saw, what I ended up doing was that I did a bunch of circles on the top, the sides, and the bottom. And I try to, for the bottom, I try to go along the line that I had previously set for myself just to get things relatively aligned. And even then, I had to do a little bit of editing, especially on this bit here, which I will probably have to edit as I replace blocks and what. This is probably going to be an infinite work of progress, but I think the general shape is done. At the end there, you could see me kind of just trying to fill in these corner bits, and that took a little bit of trial and error, but I think we got it. And I'm honestly quite happy with it. By the way, I actually got a whole other run of white wool. I did end up running out of the white wool I gathered before building, so I got a bunch more. Now we need to add in the light blue wool bits. And I'm not even sure if we have enough for that. So basically what we're going to end up doing is just kind of doing a bunch of these layers on top of the shape we already have as kind of a little cover for, you know how some of those balloons have little cloth coverings at the top. I'm not entirely sure why they exist, I'm going to be honest with you. All I know is that it makes them look pretty. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, just to change up the color scheme, because it looks pretty plain on top and on the sides. What I'm basically going to try and do is put in a bunch of blue wool and then add a little bit of white back in. Whether I'll make it look embroidered or not is up in the air. I really hope this thing doesn't come out to look like a giant snow cone. Okay, okay. But are you nervous now? So I kinda lost faith in this. I think what the main problem is that I just kind of draped it on top instead of replacing the white wool blocks. I think if I incorporate it to just make it look closer and more incorporated to the balloon, I think it will look a bit better. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I spent a lot of time just getting wool, and yeah, that's a lesson I learned from today. Just like if you have a block that you can technically automate, just automate it. I ended up just deciding, yeah, I'll just shear them myself, and that ended up taking a lot of time. Now, granted, I was able to do other things while I was waiting for the sheep to regrow their fur, but at the same time, there could have been a lot of moments where I could have just been at home and I could have just let a farm run, which would have saved me so much time. So yeah, a lesson in video production learned. And I'm terribly sorry that I didn't manage to finish this today. That was basically my goal for this episode, and didn't quite make it, but that's fine. So something I want to introduce into the series is a comment of the week. Now, we won't be able to do this every episode because we don't always get comments. And there are, I mean, I appreciate all comments, but there are just some that don't really need much more elaboration into, like, oh, hey, I liked your video. Oh, hey, thanks. But not to say that I don't appreciate those comments. Trust me, I really, really do. It's just that there are some comments that I feel like wouldn't really fit into your usual YouTube response, because I have a tendency to make replies that are just paragraphs long, and I don't want to do that in my comments section. So that being said, I decided that I want to respond to some comments in video form, because that will allow me to elaborate a little better and just overall connect with you guys a little better. That being said, the first comment that we will be going over is by Jogabsha. If you want, I have an idea for a cool redstone build you can do. It's a rotating lighthouse light. You could put it on top of your base. Now, I believe what he was getting at, if we can see my base from here, is I did mention in that episode that my house was a little unbalanced. And this was, like, he made this comment after I decided that I would be putting my bedroom on top. Now, while that is a great idea, I'm not entirely sure that would have fit into the theme. And I was thinking of doing a lighthouse on the other side of the island over there, but I wasn't so sure on that either. But then an idea started to brew in my head. So thank you, Jugabsha, for inspiring a little idea. And that idea is that I am planning on having a little steampunk ship that kind of accompanies this this air balloon, that this air balloon will be kind of ported to, but very poorly. It'll just be kind of way too far off to the side, and the person who owns this air balloon will have to pay fines and whatnot. It's just a cool mini environmental storytelling, if that makes any sense. It'll make more sense as I build it. Unfortunately, we might not get to that for a little bit, because this is taking longer than I expected, but we'll get there. But what I wanted to do with that ship is basically have like a few rotating lights around the place to kind of indicate like fans or just moving parts in general. I might add some like sticky pistons or just pistons in general to just give it some moving parts to just breathe some life into the ship. because I find that redstone does a very good job at doing that, even though I'm not very good at it. Just even the small stuff really helps. So yeah, and one of the things I will definitely be putting in is a rotating light, because it will be kind of an airport of sorts, and I feel like having flashing lights and rotating lights will really help sell the look, because lights are how the what do you call them? The captains of, not the captains, the drivers of the airplane. That's kind of how they know their way around the airport. That's how they know where to land and what orientation. So yeah, I think that will be a cool addition. So thank you, Jagabsha, for the idea, even though it was kind of inadvertently. So I actually want to ask you guys a question before I go, if you're willing. And that is, what should I name my sword? Everything is basically fully enchanted. I just need to combine these two together, but I have this tendency to, like, I need to name the sword whenever I enchant it for the final time. And I haven't really figured out a name for it yet, so if you guys could come up with a name for me, allow me to be a little lazy, that would be great. Wow, I worded that so elegantly. But yeah, if you guys have any good names for it, I'll probably name it that. So yeah, I think that is everything. So have a good day, night, evening, whatever, and goodbye. Don't ask how I got here.